The White House issuing new travel alerts this evening after earlier advisories about travel to China, now urging Americans not to visit parts of Italy as well. But what about travelers and college students coming home to the U.S.? Are they being tested when they get here? Are they being screened before they even leave? What we learned today, and here's ABC's Maggie Rulli tonight.
Tonight, some of Italy's most famous tourist sites, from Milan to Rome, deserted. The number of coronavirus cases there spiking 120% in the last 48 hours to more than 1,800 cases. Delta and American Airlines now suspending all flights to Milan. This as the U.S. State Department's issuing its highest travel warning for parts of Italy and South Korea.
We want to lower the amount of travel to and from the most impacted areas. This is a basic containment strategy.
American college students sent home from their studies in Italy, reuniting with their families. Syracuse University student Eli Schwemmler was forced to return from Florence. When arriving in America last Friday, he says there was no screening.
I was not stopped or tested for a fever or anything, which kind of surprised me. I figured they'd at least take my temperature, but none of that happened.
Tonight, fears rippling across the globe. In Paris, the Louvre shuttering for a second day. Museum workers concerned about exposure. In Japan, a marathon that normally has about 30,000 runners reduced to a few hundred elite competitors. 12 million students shut out of school today. A church in Rome closed after a priest was infected. At his first public appearance in days, the Pope struggling with a cough, addressing the crowd. Admitting he has a cold, he's canceled his next public event, although there is no connection to the virus.
So let's get to Maggie Rulli reporting in from London tonight. And Maggie, the student there who came in from Florence, said he was not screened when he arrived back here in the U.S. A short time ago, Vice President Mike Pence was asked about screening people coming from Italy, and you've got news on that tonight?
Yeah, David, just moments ago, the vice president said that within the next 12 hours, people leaving Italy will be screened in Italy before they're allowed to come back into the United States. He said their temperatures will be taken multiple times. But, David, it's still not known what's going to happen to these Americans once they come back to the United States, considering that Syracuse University student says he was never tested once he got back into the country. David?
Right, Maggie Rulli tonight. Maggie, thank you. We know so many of you at home have questions, among them word that authorities in Washington state believe that this coronavirus has been spreading there for weeks. And so let's get right to our chief medical editor, Dr. Jen Ashton, back with us tonight. That really got our attention today, Jen, and we were sort of curious. Do you think we're going to learn in the coming days that we have communities around the country where coronavirus has been present for weeks now?
I don't think that would be surprising, David. We have to remember we're pretty much 2 months into this, and because so many cases are mild, it may just be that people aren't sick enough, on the most part, to seek medical attention.
Which would be a silver lining in this if we find out there have been many cases, we just have not been aware of them.
It would be reassuring, yeah.
There was the ER doctor from New York City who went on cable news this morning. It got a lot of attention because he said if someone presents with flu-like symptoms or severe respiratory symptoms, that he still does not have a rapid diagnostic test kit for coronavirus. You and I have been talking about this for many, many nights now. Is that not alarming?
I think it reflects the frustration on the part of healthcare providers who are trying to test people for this. But some good news, we just learned that even right here in New York City, tests are now being deployed. And so hopefully that will continue rapidly across the country. Ripple effect in ERs across the country. In the meantime, one of the things that I think will reassure folks at home is that we continue to see that children tend to be faring quite well. Yeah, from the case reports, David, on this, children under the age of 9 represent just about 1% of coronavirus cases. There have been, thankfully, no pediatric deaths, and it's not known whether children are resistant to this virus or whether they actually become infected and just don't develop symptoms. But either way, that is good news.
All right, Dr. Jen Ashton with us on this Monday night. Jen, thank you. President Trump today addressing the coronavirus threat and the idea of a vaccine. Several countries working hard, but how soon? So let's go to the White House and senior White House correspondent Terry Moran, senior national correspondent. Terry, a vaccine likely still more than a year away, but the president today saying progress is being made. Let's listen.
We're working very hard to expedite the longer process of developing a vaccine. We're also moving with maximum speed to develop therapies so that we can help people recover as quickly as possible. We have a lot of recovery going on.
The president on the coronavirus today. And Terry, we've seen an evolution of sorts from the president from Friday night's rally through Saturday and then to today, a very serious tone on coronavirus.
We sure have seen that change in tone, David. Last week, as it was clear that this coronavirus was arriving in the United States, the president went to his tried and tested playbook. He downplayed the threat. He sweet-talked the markets. He excoriated Democrats in the media at that rally and in mean tweets for exploiting it as the latest hoax, in his words. Different president today, as we just heard, and a very different White House. This is a place which hasn't seen regular press briefings in years. And yet Vice President Mike Pence, who's the head of the coronavirus task force, promised that he would have regular briefings here, and he is letting the public health experts step forward. One sign of that, when asked a question, he said, "I think I'll let the experts answer that one." David?
Terry Moran live at the White House tonight. Terry, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.